At the moment, the basic political units are MPs, councillors, party members. That's going to change. The smallest political unit, but the one that counts, is going to be us as individuals. Now the question is, do we make the right decisions? And do we act unselfishly? Do we act in the interest of the community as a whole? They're crucial questions for this campaign, and we've done a lot of work on them. And what we found out is that yes, we do make the right decisions, and yes, we do act unselfishly. The referendum process is absolutely perfect for making the right decisions. We're used to thinking in terms of, okay, ask the expert. If there's something wrong with your leg or your arm or something, you go see a doctor. If you want some building work done, you go see a builder, a bricklayer, an electrician, a plumber. And yes, those are skills that are needed. But when you're making political decisions, complex decisions which have got many things involved in them, like nuclear power stations, abortion, complex issues, controversial issues like that, referendum is the ideal mechanism for sorting those problems out. In a referendum situation, the knowledge of the entire community is aggregated. What happens is the knowledge is built up, and the peak, the yes or the no, comes down in exactly the right place. In fact, research shows that decisions made in this way are usually better than decisions made by any panel of experts. It's not what we expect, but it's what happens, and it's vital for the success of direct democracy. The other important question is, do we act selfishly? Because if we do that, it's never going to work. We're only going to ever act in our own interests. But it turns out that 75% of us normally act unselfishly, and it's only a minority, 25%, that act usually in their own interests. But what's interesting, and perhaps more important about that, is the 75% of us who like to act unselfishly, who have that sort of standard deep within us. If we see things not working, if we see the system being unfair, if we see those who act selfishly getting advantage, getting ahead because of that, it has an effect on us. We drop our own standards, and as we do, this affects the standards of those around us, and they drop too. How we are very much depends on the environment in which we're in, and the biggest influence on the environment in which we're in is the people around us. As those standards start to drop, you tend to get a downward spiral. Some of you may think, well, that's what happens now. That's where we are, that's where we're going. But the good news is, you can reverse that trend very easily. Once you start bringing in these sort of systems, which people can see are manifestly fair, which lead to greater justice in every level, in everything we do, that spiral reverses, it comes back up again. And what's also interesting is that has a huge influence on the people who do act selfishly. Peer pressure comes into play. Those people who are used to acting selfishly are influenced by the rest of us, and they start to conform to our standards. It's a crucial part of what we do. And unless you're going to have referendum processes, unless you're going to have people involved in those decision makings, what we call the silent majority, but which is in reality a silenced majority, unless we give ourselves that voice, we are not going to get anywhere. We are not going to solve the problems we face. Things are just going to get worse.